Hi, Model Chili here, and this is my version of Bandai's Slave wand in 1:144 scale. And I say it's my version because, as you can see from the box art, it's supposed to be Boba Fett's version in the green and maroon colours, but on my version I've converted it to Jango Fett's version, so it's the blue and the yellow version with a bit of green as well. And there's a couple of small other modifications are made to make it match Jango's version, but it's not 100% accurate. There's quite a few physical differences that were quite hard to replicate on this, converting from Boba Fett's to Jango Fett's version. So, but I had a go. I do realise there's a fine moulds kit in this scale and in 1/72 scale. That probably would have been easier, but they're quite expensive to get on eBay, and I thought this was a good compromise. And since these Bandai kits are so easy to make, I thought I'd add a bit more of a challenge by trying to convert it into a different version. So as you can see, there's very small differences. So I've added some blaster cannons to the midpoint here, and the figures were the Boba Fett figure that comes with the kit, and I cut his head off and then stuck on Finn's head, which I had spare from the Millennium Falcon kit. And then I've got Jango's helmet next to him on the seat. So I scratch built a couple of seats to sit behind Jango, and then I've got Boba Fett on the in the back there, which was again converted from a half of a sitting Han Solo, and the top half was Rey from the Falcon kit. So you can see he's got a bit of a lumpy chest, but it's hard to notice this from these distances. But and I've also used a bit of putty to flare out the hair a little bit, like Boba had in the movie. So I thought those came out okay, and then the modified these two seats at the bottom here with different tops to make them more rounded, like in Jango's version. But there's quite a few other cockpit differences between the two versions, which were going to be too difficult for me to scratch build. So the rest of it is just as it was as Boba's version. And so I kept the weathering fairly light. Jango's version was slightly cleaner looking than Boba's super chipped up version, so it was just a bit of a wash, a little bit of light chipping. Yeah, so tried to keep it well weathered but fairly clean. And there's the back there, all in grey colours as opposed to sort of dark greens that Boba's version had, but all the rest of it's exactly the same. Just use different shades of grey for the back there. Painted them all up individually before slotting them in. Since these kits you can paint up each individual part, and since there's no glue required, you can just slot everything together without too much fuss. And some clear yellow parts in there for the engines. A little bit of light chipping on the paint job here, but keep it fairly simple. And the stand, it kind of does look like a section from Camino. Just this grey deck plating that are painted dark grey. Just sort of look like he's taking off from Camino with Obi-Wan chasing him in the back. And just other little things like drilling out little holes here for the blaster cannons, which the kit was just flat there. And I used some of the decals from the kit. So this yellow stripe here is a decal. These yellow strips were white on Boba's version, but I just painted them yellow and then stuck them on here to match Jango's version. And yeah, so I'm fairly happy with how it came out. I mean, I know it's not 100% perfect. I think this is supposed to be the same green as the these shoulder bits here, but it's kind of a greenish blue, because I have I used a reference book for the colours, which is this huge book I've had for about 10 years. It covers the making of the prequels, and it's got hundreds of reference photos and renderings from the props and the costumes. So I used these photos here as a reference, and as you can see, the colours are quite hard to pick out here, but I've gone back and looked at other models and other photos on the internet and tried to colour it as best I could. Yeah, this is a really awesome book if you like, at least on a technical level, the prequel movies, right from Phantom Menace to Revenge of the Sith. And I forget what it's called. It comes in a big cardboard sleeve. Oh, there. Star Wars Chronicles, the prequels. But yeah, as I said, it's about 10 years old, this book, so I'm not sure how easy it is to find these days. But it's well worth getting if you're into the prequels. And so, back to the kit. Yeah, so again, it was a really enjoyable build from Bandai. Everything just sort of fell together, and no real major issues. There's a sort of a frame here that went around the cockpit that was kind of difficult to squeeze in once everything had been painted. I think these kits are so well engineered that if you paint them, then it adds a few micro, what's the term? A few atoms of paint thickness, but even that is enough to stop some of these parts from easily fitting. So it was quite tricky getting this framing around, but I managed to squeeze it in after quite a bit of pressure. So just keep that in mind when you're building these Bandai kits, that sometimes even the paint can make parts quite difficult to fit. And yeah, so I remember building the old AMT, I think it was AMT kit of Slave 1 about 20 years ago, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that had the wing sections connected to the cockpit, so when you rotated the wings, the cockpit rotated with them, but this one obviously doesn't have that mechanism. And there's even separate parts that connect here, so when this is extended, these struts are supposed to go from here to here, and there's another part that you're supposed to put in when these wings are rotated, so that since that part's on, you can only have them in the up position. But it's just a minor thing, really. And yeah, so quite happy with the result. Let me know what you think, whether this kit was worth it converting. If any of you have the Fine Molds kit or have built it and think if that's worthwhile getting as well. Yeah, just leave a comment and let me know. Let me know what you think of this, if it's been a good effort or a pile of garbage. I'm interested to know either way. So feel free to like or dislike, and I try to reply to all the comments that you leave. So yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed watching that. And for my next build, which I hope to do a build series instead of just a review, will be the Bandai A-Wing kit. So that just arrived today in the post, straight from Japan. So I'm quite looking forward to building this. And it should be quite a nice, simple little fighter to build, so I hope to do a full build series on this, so from assembly to painting and weathering. And I realise I haven't done one in a while, but I'll I'll try to get one done on that kit, which I hopefully will be starting soon. I have another little backlog building up of various subjects, so I realise it has been quite Star Wars focused lately. So let me know if you want to see the O-Wing, or if you think there's too many Star Wars kits. I can branch out to other subjects, so just let me know. And again, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.